Hello, it is Thursday, September 21st, 2023. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Thursday crossword today, so we've got perhaps a bit of a tricky puzzle with an interesting theme. I always enjoy that. Let's see if I enjoy it today. This hopefully enjoyable edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Alex, Laura Sexton, Victoria Rojishka, and, of course, as always, the indomitable Showmaster and the incredible Horan family. So thank you so much to the 5 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support. They are, of course, sustaining this channel. They bring us the series every day, and I'm very grateful for that support. Thank you to everybody who's a patron. That includes you if you're one. And if you would like that to include you, because you would be one, you can head over to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the link in the description field underneath the video. There, of course, you can find all of the bonus videos available to patrons, as well as the Let's Check the Crosses mug for benefactors. And please do also subscribe to the channel on YouTube. That is a big help, and it's free, of course. And finally, you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server. There's a link to that friendly chat community in the description field underneath the video. So thanks for doing any of those things that you may have done, and let's get on to the crossword. This is the 4th puzzle constructed by Dan Caprera. It's a Thursday crossword, so it will have hopefully some kind of interesting or noteworthy theme, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shortz. So let's get on with it. Let's start solving. Director who said horror films don't create fear, they release it. That's interesting. That is a good observation. I'm trying to think, who are some notable horror directors? John Carpenter, Wes Craven. It could be from an older generation. I'm not sure. Third most common Chinese surname in America. Third most common. That's very. I wouldn't really know how to estimate the third most common. I mean, it could be Chen or something. Center cut ? I don't know. It could be a cut of meat or like a rib or something. I'm not sure. Length just over 1 centimeter. Just over 1 centimeter. Is a pica or that maybe? I doubt it. I'm not really sure. I can't remember how long that is. It isn't out of. If one isn't out of something, I don't know. Boy, this is tough so far. Entertainment one might view from a box. A sport. You could be in, or an opera. Yeah, it could really be either of those. I like opera better because sport sounds so vague. You'd want it to be maybe something more specific, or a match, maybe. Could be opera. Opera, sport, match. I could honestly imagine it being any of these things. Does that help me with this? I don't know. Wong, maybe? Wong would fit with opera. That's a complete sort of stab in the dark, but let's just try it and see. Competitive poker. Oh, maybe it is, because that would be épée, the fencing. And then, right, okay, I want this to be Wes Craven. Maybe there's a rebus, it's a Thursday puzzle, or maybe it sort of continues down. There's an A here, and Wes Craven would actually fit in a sort of angled way. That's entirely possible. Oh, no, it is. Desert near Sinai is the Negev. There we go. So, state flower of Utah, sago is a flower. I don't know that it's the state flower of Utah, but I'm sure that is correct. I'm not sure, but I suspect. And natural, yeah, here we go. Wow, this is all working out. Okay, I went from having absolutely nothing to sort of getting a whole chunk of the puzzle, and I think basically understanding the theme, although I don't really know why it's doing this yet. I assume that will become clear with the reveal or more answers. Natural find with a cavity, a geode, one of those sort of stones with the crystal or whatever it is inside. It's not crystal. I don't know, maybe it is. Guiding statements or credos. Capital of Washington. Ones? Is capital meaning currency or money, perhaps? Oh, no. It is that, but it's another one of these, I think. $1. Because Washington, is George Washington, the figure, historical figure, is on the $1 bill. So that would be the capital, the money associated with Washington. That's a very clever clue. Okay, great. So we've got this we're sort of forming a little ladder here. We've got Wes Craven and $1. They intersect each other. Maybe there will be another one here, or no, maybe not. I'm not sure. And do they both? No, they don't both have question marks. This one does, but this is just a completely straight clue. So right, I don't know necessarily what these things have to do with anything yet. Oh, raven. Raven is a word. Dollar is a word. So the across bits don't necessarily form words unto themselves. I mean, Wesker doesn't seem to be anything to me. 1D could be one-dimensional, but I think that's just coincidental because this doesn't look like anything. But the downs, raven feels intentional to me. Okay, let's keep looking. Male members of the House of Saud, so this would be Saudi Arabia, would be emirs. And Blank Verde, the royal family, and then Blank Verde National Park in Colorado. Oh, I don't know. If I had just seen this without any crosses, I would have assumed it to be Mesa Verde, not because I know this, I don't, but because it just sounds plausible to me. But $1 must be correct, so I guess not. What you do just for grins. Smile? I don't know why that would be a pun, so maybe not. Infamous presidential denial. Okay. I was curious if oh, I am not a crook actually would fit here. Maybe this isn't $1. I'm very surprised by that. Oh, sorry, I never looked at this down clue. Jet black as hair is raven. Okay, sorry, there we go. That was actually part of the clue. Right, didn't even occur to me to look at that. Okay, sorry, the thing I was looking at was Nixon's famous denial, I am not a crook. And this makes rook, and a corner piece in chess is a rook. That is the answer. That is in fact the answer, right. So what is this? I really thought it was going to be $1. Capital of Washington. Wow, I'm so surprised that is the answer because it felt so appropriate to the pun. Okay, let's keep looking. What you do just for grins. Maybe just smile. Oh, and it is Mesa Verde. Right, okay. Sorry, this you must be wondering why I'm not seeing this. I'm wondering it as well. I'm sure many of you are yelling at me through the screen as to what the answer is here. Some people on decks. Some people on deck. Dealers, as in card dealers dealing a deck, doesn't really fit. Why am I not seeing this? I'm mystified. He actually died about 1,500 years before the fiddle was invented. Nero, said to have fiddled while Rome burned, which is, I think, an apocryphal story in general terms, but also when it comes to specifically the fiddle, wouldn't have been possible anyway. That's funny. Ticks off. Angers. You annoy somebody, you tick them off, you anger them. Many a surgeon informally. An OR doc, maybe? An operating room doctor? Maybe? I don't know. Seems plausible, maybe. Gave advice, consoled, or some people on deck. Something DEA men. Is that it? On deck. Oh no, seamen. People at sea. Oh, sorry, this isn't a theme clue at all. Oh my goodness, sorry, I apologize. Ridiculous. This is just an ordinary clue. It's just the capital of Washington. It was basically $1. It was the same idea that I had. It's just ones, and it's just an ordinary answer. It doesn't continue down. I absolutely got wrapped up in the idea of the theme and completely over-applied it. Sorry about that. Wow. Okay, well, at least I know what's going on with this answer, finally. So this is a normal clue. This is a normal clue. Neither one of them is related to the theme. Okay, now we can move on in peace. Oh, I found the revealer inadvertently. Seasonal phenomenon depicted 6 times in this puzzle. Oh, avian migration, some kind of bird migration, because we have raven here. So winter migration of birds, maybe, or maybe not just birds, maybe of other animals. I don't know yet. Well, oh no, but a rook is a bird. Okay, it is of birds because yes, I forgot we had this one as well. So ravens and rooks. Okay. Show indecision in a way to hem and haw, maybe? Could be. Oh, right, here's the hems. Right, so hemming and hawing is a sort of idiomatic phrase referring to fretting and second-guessing and showing indecision. So there we have it. That's a nice little cross there. Melber of MSNBC. I'm not sure. I'm guessing in 3 letters starting with A, Ali or Ari, presumably. Trying to think of other names that would fit here, and those are the ones that come to mind. So each of those ends with I. DFA is one in music. That's an example of a minor chord. That's a minor triad, musically, DFA. So that is what that would be. Minor chords being the sort of sadder sounding ones. Name of 7 Danish kings. Oh, Eric, there we go. So Ari. And then gave advice. Oh, Eric with a C here. Sorry about that. Okay. Because gave advice is counseled. Right. I don't know why that didn't occur to me before. I think I said consoled, which doesn't make any sense. That's not giving advice. That's comforting somebody. Concealed with a way. Conceal, not concealed, sorry. Conceal with a way is tuck. Tuck something away. Conceal it. And Childish Gambino's record label must be RCA, which is a record label. To pass a law, for instance, would be to enact it. And the $10,000 pyramid host. Absolutely no idea. Oh, maybe, is it Dick Cavett? I didn't actually know that because I don't think I've ever seen any episodes of this. I mean, I've seen clips of Dick Cavett's talk show, and it was always really, really entertaining. Just the bits I've seen on YouTube and so on. But he must have also hosted this. Okay. Passageways. Not sure. What about this? Structure built in a catenary arch shape. I'm not sure about that either. This again, huh? Maybe? Or something like that? No, that doesn't look good with the crosses. I don't like it. This again. Minor, maybe this... No, I was going to say maybe it's a minor triad. DFA is one in music, but Dick Cavett looks good to me. I mean, I guess maybe it isn't. Maybe that's not even how you spell Dick Cavett's name. I don't know. Maybe this is all wrong. Minor triad? This doesn't look good at all. Okay, I don't know what's going on here yet. I'll have to find something I'm more confident about. Be overly sweet. If something's cloying, it's overly sweet. So that could well be the answer. That would make this minor chord again, which is probably correct. Blank, verily, yea, verily, you might say, in a quaint sort of way, evoking, I don't know, an Elizabethan sort of, Shakespearean entreaty. Sprinted, you tore along, you ran. Drink that should not be served shaken. Soda, right? That would be a dangerous way to serve it. And passageways are ducts, as in air ducts. Okay, this is Dick Cavett. Okay, so my first guess was correct. Oh, an igloo is a structure built in a catenary arch shape. There we go, good. And then this again is ugh, you're annoyed. So I think it might be, is it spelled with an IT? Maybe it is spelled C-A-V-I-T. Let's look at this and see. Classic NYC cinema name. Ooh, not sure. Maybe I'll leave that blank for now to remind myself that it's a guess. T-brand. Oh, maybe this isn't Dick Cavett after all. Because T-brand starting with T in 4 letters, I would think would be Tazo or Tazo. Dick Clark. There we go. That's who it is. Sorry about that to all of you who knew that. It must have been irritating at several points watching this video as I brazenly put in incorrect things into the puzzle. Ending with Euro. So the Eurozone is the group of countries that use the Euro currency, which is not, they're not identical to EU member states. Although there's obviously extremely high overlap. Classic NYC cinema name. The Roxy. That was my first guess, but I didn't say it because I thought Dick Cavett was correct, which it wasn't. So it is indeed the Roxy. There we go. Okay. Animals on Nebraska's state quarter. Oxen must be on it. And a place for a brace. You could have a knee brace if you had recovering from an injury, maybe. Up to this point would be yet. It hasn't happened up to this point. It hasn't happened yet. Tonsil treater in brief, an ENT, so an ear, nose, and throat specialist. Person who might call a child a bairn. That is a Scottish word for a child. So there we have it. Edmonton NHL player. I've heard of the Edmonton Oilers, so I think that must be it. How some money is held in... I guess this could be a theme clue, but I can't think what it would be. Toot one's own horn, brag, crow, in escrow. There we go. Okay. You know what's funny about that? My first thought when I saw how some money is held is in escrow, but then I immediately dismissed it because it didn't fit. And then when I said, maybe it's a theme clue, it didn't come back into my mind. Is that strange or what? It wasn't until I looked at this and then thought first brag, which was not right, and then crow that I realized that would work. This is the strangest thing. When many businesses open at 9, yeah, that's a reasonably common opening hour. Food that can be eaten to help with anemia. Liver, because it has all that iron, I think is why. Like some numbers and scores are even numbers, even scores, a tied score. Dia de los Reyes months would be enero, so January. Right, that's January. I hope that's right. Is it? I think so. As I keep saying, need to learn more Spanish. I did start actually learning some Spanish words just the other day, just honestly in part because I always feel self-conscious when I can't answer the Spanish clues with confidence in the crossword. To freshen would be to renew a, I don't know, yourself or something else. Quizzes, if you quiz someone, you ask them, so asks. The Legend of Zelda console in brief, so the original Legend of Zelda game was released on the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. A desire for a lonely heart, oh, that's clever. So a heart, in this case, referring to a deer. So a male deer might desire a roe, a female deer, as the song goes. Our body needs 20 plus different kinds to function. Amino acids? Yeah, there we go. Organization concerned with cyber warfare. The NSA, the National Security Agency. Its lowest score is 120 in brief. If I had to guess, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm actually not sure. This could be the PSAT or the LSAT. I don't really, I honestly don't know which. It could be something else as well, I suppose. So those would be my two main guesses. Wide ray could be the fish, the manta ray. And a rubber overshoe is, okay, so if I imagine this is an L or a P. Oh, I want this to be an L. But I'm not sure that's true. But that's what my instinct is telling me for some reason. We'll see if it's right. Whole alternative. Whole milk could be an alternative to skim milk or vice versa. They may precede cries of goal, ole. Maybe this crowd is chanting ole and then goal is scored and they all yell goal in watching a football game. I mean, center cut. Still not sure. Blanc de mer. So this is in French. Eau de mer, ocean water. Not sure if there's any reason that would be the case. Sel de mer, sea salt. I'm not really sure that that's convincing to me either. Half of a rhyming game name. Half of a rhyming game name. I don't know. I'll probably recognize this when I see it, but I'm not surprised. I'm not thinking of it right now. Indecent. Lewd? In 4 letters with an E there. Something that is indecent could be described as lewd. Cool cats copy that. I dig. So that would be, something from the same sort of mid-century era as copy that. I dig kind of sort of vibe. Half of a, oh. No, I was going to say eeny meeny, but that's not half. That's only a fourth, right? Because the game name is eeny meeny miny mo, so never mind. And this would have to be a Y anyway, I think. Okay, what is all of this? Oh, so this is very good because this is another bird. Center cut is a mohawk, a haircut that is, it's this raised in the center of your head. So it is a center cut. And there we have another bird, a hawk. So, highlight. Oh, right. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was interpreting this as being a game about rhyming, which is why I was thinking, for instance, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, because eeny and meeny rhyme with one another. And then so do the lyrics of that sort of song game, Catch a Tiger by Its Toe, is rhyming. So anyway, that's not what it is at all. It's just the name of a game, and it just is that the name rhymes. So highlight and mal de mer. Is that seasickness? That would be right. Okay, there we go. I don't actually think I even know that phrase. Sorry, but that's what it would mean, I believe. It's what it looks like it would mean to me. Length just over 1 centimeter. Still not sure about that. That's all the way from the beginning of the solve. Still unsolved. Mine in Marseille, here's more French, would be à moi. Literally sort of to me or mine of me. It's a find. It's a something. Major Japanese company headquartered in a 43-story tower shaped like a rocket. I have no idea. Is NCR a Japanese company? I'm not sure. Rubber overshoe. Oh, a galosh. Right. Okay. I wanted this to be an L, and I couldn't really remember why, but I think this is why, because galoshes are rubber overshoes. Some seating sections. Loges in some sort of concert halls, that sort of thing. And then Lawyer in To Kill a Mockingbird is the character Atticus Finch from that novel. Oh, NEC. Maybe that's actually the company I was trying to think of. That is a major Japanese electronics company. So there we go. I didn't know about their headquarters. I'll have to look it up. It's a sign, you might say. There we go. That is a more common phrase. And if one isn't out of something, one has it. That's actually a very straightforward clue and answer. And a length just over 1 centimeter. Oh, half inch. Right. Okay. It's another one of these. Half inch is just over 1 centimeter. Yes, that is true. And it didn't occur to me to think of that because I think at that point I hadn't yet had any idea about the themes. So there we have it. That is the Thursday crossword with our winter migration theme. There we go. I'm glad that I came upon this early. I mean, this was a helpful first answer if you know Wes Craven. I mean, I guess if you don't know that name, this wouldn't be helpful at all. In fact, it would be probably somewhat baffling. It's one of those cases where knowing something, knowing a person's name is such a specific thing, and it tends to involve things that aren't real words, like WESCR. If you start to fill this into the grid and you know who Wes Craven is, there's just sort of no possible way it could be anything other than that name. So it really does force it. So I think even once I saw I think it was WE or WES, then it just seemed like, well, this must be what it is. So that was a big early help, although I then became overzealous about the theme and tried to apply it elsewhere. So let's see. Seasonal phenomenon depicted 6 times in this puzzle. So what exactly... Oh, because they're going south. The birds are going south for the winter. There we go. That's it. That's why it's birds. Because that's always how people describe the winter migration of birds. Okay, so we have, and how many times did it say? 6 times. So we have a raven, a finch. We had a rook somewhere. Okay, raven, finch, crow. Oh, I can't even remember where these all are. Ridiculous. A lark. Right, actually, I didn't really... Oh, right, I just solved Dick Clark and then didn't even mention the lark in particular. We have a hawk, and we do have the rook. There we go. So those are the 6. Those are 6 migrating birds going south for the winter. Very good. Very nice theme. It was a nice sort of blend of, fairly early, comprehended it fairly early on, but still, just because it's not marked in any way, the clues aren't signaled, I was still kind of, never quite sure about it. And then sometimes, strangely, because I'd sort of absorbed how it works, once I finally got Dick Clark, I mean, the funny thing is I put Dick Cavett in there originally, which I think I was not correct because I think his name actually has 2 T's. I just sort of talked myself out of thinking that because I wanted it to fit. But anyway, the point being, even once I got this right, Well, even when I had it wrong, it didn't occur to me that avet isn't a bird. So that would have proven it wrong immediately. But I was just so in the mode of thinking, oh, well, the words can bend down, that I was already not thinking about the theme. Anyway, yeah, not my most sort of composed solve, I would say, but we got there, and it was very nice. I like it a lot. Okay, so I don't have time for the full sort of suite of corrections and observations from yesterday's puzzle, but I do want to make sure that I read this comment about yesterday's theme because I did miss a part of it, as several people said in the clues. So, well, Girl Cow first said, "Oh no, he missed the theme," and then Spikel Thing explained the way in which I missed part of the theme, which is that the clue reads, "Slow rock song with an emotional vocal delivery, whose start can follow each half of the theme clue." So for that, I for some reason, I don't remember what I said out loud, but the way that I interpreted that was I kind of just glossed over it and only applied it to the first half of each clue. So in other words, as Spikel Thing explains, he realized that the word power can follow black, super, rocket, and high. I forget if it was high or higher, but it can also follow the second part of each clue to make magic power, star power, man power, and love power. So there we go. I apologize. I completely glossed over that bit of the revealer clue. So sorry about that. And thank you for correcting me and explaining what I missed. All right, that's that for today's video. I'll be back for tomorrow's Friday themeless puzzle. Do join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Thursday. Take care.